Everyone, and welcome back to another little review. I'm your host as ever, Peppermint98, joined once more, seemingly as forever, by my partner, the Obsidian Nook, Petal ASMR. Why don't you say hello?
Hello.
Today we had the pleasure of seeing the new Garfield film. I know you've been excited about it since it was basically announced. I'd heard mixed things about it, but I ended up quite enjoying it, surprisingly.
Glad you because of not.
Yeah, we have yet to do the original Garfield film,
Well,
if we ever get round to it.
No offense, but you live with a cat. How can you like Garfield when he's a cat?
We may get round to doing the original Garfield, it depends on how you feel about doing it, because I know it meant a lot to you and your mum.
It's mainly the live action ones.
Yeah.
That are the issue. Too hard to go back.
Yeah. We may do in the distant future. I don't want to say a definitive no, but for now it's
birthday.
something like that. But for now, we're going to keep it with just this one, and maybe cover them in the future, but no promises, because it's a touchy subject for you. But this is brand new, it's been out a couple of days, and it's the Birthday Girl's special movie as of recording, I should say, but I'm going to try and get this out as a bank holiday Monday thing. It's not
Have you noticed the last 2 years? Last year it was Little Mermaid, released on the 26th of May, and then this year it was, technically Garfield came out on the 18th, the 19th and the 24th because they were the See It First showings, but then we saw this today on the 26th, so it's really weird how the second year in a row.
Yeah, it's weird.
But I got a bucket from it, so...
Thankfully, it didn't turn out like the Dune popcorn bucket.
Oh no, because we're in the UK, the Americans get like the really cool like 3D buckets, and I saw the Garfield popcorn bucket for America, and that's really cool because that's actually shaped like him. As in the UK, we just get
what's essentially a bucket with print on it.
It's a metal bucket with a print. I mean, they will last you as long as you don't break them and you can reuse them. So we brought our one home because me being me, I was so excited to have one. I made such a noise when I was grabbing it as well. But no, I really like it.
You knocked off that fucking shelf.
Mm.
You punched a child as well. That was unnecessary. No.
Bucket, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
And I can reuse it.
And I'm sure you'll be using it in the future with whatever we watch.
Oh, 100%.
Instead of just using a bag.
Use it. Basically, and then I will have a funeral for the bucket.
It will be buried inside of a bin.
Oh, I'll bury it in the back garden. Turn it into a time capsule.
As long as you don't dig up the many, many cats that are in the back garden.
There's just a few guys. There's a miniature cemetery in our back garden.
There's 6 cats and 2 small children. I don't know. I'm just making shit up. It's not far off though, is it? How many? No, let's not talk about dead cats. Let's not get. People are not going to be interested with how many cats.
There's Bibble, Angel,
Silver, may our homie rest in peace.
There's a random field mouse. Because
how many animals? Is that 5? We just want to say they died of natural causes. We didn't murder 5 cats. No, let's stop. No, this is depressing. Weird.
Peanut. That was it. Sam number 2.
Ted 2.
Ted 1 and Ted 2. Mum had a thing about Ted. Yeah, and that's basically it.
I'm covered both of them on the channel if you're interested. Completely different films to the one we're covering today.
There you go, a miniature pet cemetery.
Aha, that's a film we haven't covered and probably won't.
Guys, I don't believe in cremation. Like, it's just my personal thing. you can laugh at me, but I believe that if you burn, you go to hell, and if you get buried, you go to heaven.
She's not religious.
Cremation doesn't sit right with me. I can't burn anything. It just doesn't sit right.
Well, this has been a depressing start to a review.
It's very.
Anyway, we're talking about a kids' film. We're talking about a happy kids' film, and you just talked about not burning animals.
Well, that's what happened. Shit. They were just gonna. You just.
It really is so tempting to restart this. It's been
it's
so
like
fucking silly.
So for Mario, who's really happy but really talk.
It's the star.
Yeah.
Luma, something like that. When we covered that as a whole thing there, but at the minute we're just like, yeah. Anyway, we're here talking about Garfield, so should we actually talk about that film? He's got sick of waiting, but he's too early. So, it is directed by Mark Dindal and features Chris Pratt as the voice of the titular cat, which I didn't 100% like. I don't like how Chris Pratt has been in fucking everything recently.
I don't even know who Chris Pratt is.
You-
Is he a singer?
Chris Pratt is okay, right. I'm fairly sure I had to show you who Chris Pratt was to begin with. Star-Lord.
Oh, he.
From Jurassic World as well. He was literally the voice of Mario
I
in the
thought
movie
he
we
was a
covered.
singer. Wait.
Good
Oh,
God.
he was in
Super Mario, Guardians of the Galaxy, Jurassic World, Lego Movie. Chris Pratt is like The Rock. He plays one character, which is me cool. But then The Rock is just The Rock in every film he's in. Anyway, now that we've jogged her memory of who the hell Chris Pratt is, or he's a very Chris Pratt.
French, his name sounds like a singer or a rapper.
I think you're just mental. Anyway, so he presents a modern take on the classic comic strip character and cartoons and the movies we talked about a minute ago. Initially voiced by Bill Murray, who notoriously hates how he's affiliated with that. While the film has its strength, we do have to say that it does have a few noticeable weaknesses.
I'm only going to give it one name, and that was the when you watch it, you will get pre-warning. If you want to go and see it, and you're a person who suffers with seizures, there is strobe lights on.
It doesn't have a big fat
So-
warning in front of it. But if you go to
If
the
it's
cinema,
where you have delayed seizures or anything, just be wary of that because there is a lot of strobe light in it.
there's a lot of electricity that's just people getting electrocuted.
The graphics are good though. But
It does look good.
anyway, the point that I was saying was that you know the scenes when he was bouncing off the trees. I felt like they dragged that out a bit too long,
Yeah, there was a few jokes where it did go on a bit too long.
and the pipes as well. Like I just felt that was unnecessary to drag it out for that long period of time.
Yeah, there are a few bits.
Each time you see it, it's funny, but then when they do it again, I think they do it 3 times. It's a bit like
Free. As we probably mentioned before in a previous film review, it's like Family Guy, where the joke just is beginning to drag on a bit too long, and it's just like, okay, get on with it. So yeah, anyway, so one of the film's most impressive aspects, as you've mentioned, is its animation quality. It's made by Illumination, the guys who did Despicable Me. They have a specific art style. It's usually... Weirdly, it's really evil.
But if I'm honest, I've seen the Garfield show on Netflix, I believe.
I used to watch that on Boomerang when I was
was-
younger. If you're from the UK and you're someone who's my age, if you remember Boomerang along the lines of like Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon, that was.
But no, I was going to say, I've seen the Garfield show and the graphics are a bit odd.
Yeah, if it's the same one, then
The
I know what you
same
mean.
that they did many years ago from Blockbuster.
Except for possibly one that's. Is there still one active out there? I remember there was a whole Was it a Family Guy episode that they did that? Was that The Simpsons? I can't remember.
Anyway, but
We watched those two shows a
you got
lot.
3D glasses with it, but that didn't ever work. But there was one disc, and I remember being really obsessed with it. Watching nearly every with Silver, obviously, because he would cuddle up. But yeah, I just feel the graphics on this one was a lot more better. His detail.
The budget is probably a lot higher. I mean, it's a fucking film, and it's Illumination, who are, as I mentioned, they do really well with. Excuse me, I'm a bit. Well,
The amount of merch. There's barely been any merch out.
not yet. It has only just come out, though.
No Funko Pops. I've seen the Funko Pops, but we haven't got them in the UK yet.
It's still early.
Popcorn
It's still early. No, popcorn bucket, as mentioned, was a bit. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, but it is just a bucket.
Yeah, but I like my.
Anyway, the blend of traditional 2D elements with state-of-the-art CGI results in a visually captivating experience. The vibrant colours and meticulous attention to detail in the backgrounds and character designs bring Garfield's world to life in a way that honours Jim Davis's original work while also updating it for contemporary audiences. The animation successfully captures the essence of the comic strip, providing a visually pleasing backdrop for the story. Chris Pratt's portrayal of Garfield is a bit hit and miss, I must admit. It's very much just his voice, as opposed to the gruff, moody original Garfield. He does make it a bit more joyful, I guess is the word. He's a bit more higher spirited, I believe, is a way we can put it. He was miserable, sarcastic, and dry. Admittedly, they do keep that side of him where he does go on about Mondays, and he's still sarcastic and dry. But the problem is casting Chris Pratt, who is known for being more positive characters, it does make it hard for Garfield to still stay similar to the originals. But I suppose that might be the point, is that they weren't like, oh, this is a sequel, like, it sort of felt like this is a new Garfield, per se. Which, if they had done that, that would be understandable. And of course we had Samuel Jackson, who played Garfield's estranged father, Vic. I think he did a pretty good job. It's nothing too special, but having Sam Jackson in a comedic role where it also had a bit of comedy in it as well was good. There were some good, the moments between him and Garfield actually did feel heartfelt and yeah, they did have a good dynamic. Is a good way of putting it. The plot of the film revolves around Garfield being pulled out of his comfort zone and embarking on a series of adventures, primarily driven by his relationship with his father. The narrative arc provides ample opportunity for both humour and character development. However, the storyline can feel somewhat disjointed at times, with certain scenes appearing to be more of a series of loosely connected skits rather than a cohesive narrative. Like we say with the train where he's bouncing between the trees. I mean, they literally did that again later in the film. But anyway. While the film captures many beloved gags and scenarios from the original comics, it sometimes struggles to weave these moments into a seamless plot. The humour in the movie is a bit of a mixed bag. There are plenty of laugh-out-loud moments, especially for those familiar with Garfield's brand of dry, sarcastic humour, as we mentioned. However, some jokes may fall flat for viewers who are not as well versed in Garfield lore. So, like Mondays, the lasagna. I mean, to be able to know who Garfield is without knowing about his love of lasagna, you just gave me a look. What was that look for?
I'm kind of disappointed that Odie didn't say more. Now that I've come to think.
He doesn't talk.
Yeah, but
He just pulls faces and makes noises. A special person. Odie is voiced by Harvey Guillen, I believe is how you pronounce his name. Guillermo from What We Do in the Shadows, which we have covered season 1 of, that we probably really should get up to more, considering the series is ending soon. May it rest in peace. But it'd be nice to have had more from him. But it's like when they hired Vin Diesel to voice Groot, and all he does is go, "I am Groot," all film. They could have had someone like that. I mean, they do have Snoop Dogg in it. He is in everything.
Please tell me you remember Candle.
I don't think I do. Anyway, just unplug my phone so I can actually like read with you nearby while you're doing your fingernails because you have bigger priorities. Additionally, the film does rely on humour that feels a bit dated or overly reliant on slapstick, which may not resonate with all audiences, which is basically just lots of punching, falling over, that sort of thing. The supporting characters, including John and Odie, as we mentioned, Odie being voiced by Harvey Guillen, and then we had John, who was voiced by Nicholas Hoult, who we've seen as Renfield in the titular film Renfield. Oh, also known for things like Warm Bodies and The Menu. The Menu we have to cover. I really want to do that at some point. They're well presented and provide a solid backdrop for Garfield's antics. However, their development is somewhat limited, with a focus primarily on Garfield and his relationship with his father. I mean, John is in not a lot of the film. He's in it for the intro, he has a couple of bits cut throughout the film, he's then at the end, and then gone again. He's barely in it, and Odie is just sort of sidelined. This can make the supporting cast feel a bit one-dimensional, which is a missed opportunity given the rich potential of these characters. However, if it performs well enough, I have a feeling this will get a sequel. It feels like one of them films.
Oh, 100.
And plus, Garfield is such an underutilized property. It's not picking up. No. Speak up!
I am speaking.
You're going, Garfield. She's saying it's such a beloved property. But instead she's going, it's such a beloved.
Get a better mic.
Why don't I have money to get one?
Get a job.
I'm trying.
What?
I'm trying. I've been put in for a job that is refusing to tell me the results of the applications for no fucking Sorry, we're not going on a tangent about my problem.
Shit.
I keep thinking that. I think that's basically what this review show is. It's just like the backdrop of having a film review and then just complaining about random bullshit. One of the film's strengths is its ability to balance comedic elements with more heartfelt moments. The exploration of family and self-discovery adds depth to the narrative, making Garfield a more relatable and multifaceted character. Which is basically part and parcel for these kind of kids films where it's like, you could be whatever you want to be, and who you are is the correct thing, and whatever, that sort of shit. These emotional beats are handled with care, providing a counterbalance to the film's lighter, more humorous moments. The soundtrack, composed by Christoph Beck, complements the film's tone well. The music is whimsical and lighthearted in the comedic scenes, while also providing a fitting backdrop for the more emotional parts of the story. The inclusion of both original compositions and nostalgic tunes helps bridge the gap between old and new fans. In conclusion, the 2024 Garfield movie is a visually stunning and generally entertaining film that successfully brings a beloved character into the modern. Considering the Garfield show came out years ago, and I can't even remember when the original films came out, but it was at least the 90s, I think. While Chris Pratt's performance and is okay, I should say, and the high-quality animation are standout elements, the somewhat disjointed plot and uneven humour can detract from the overall experience, including the bits and bobs you mentioned. Nevertheless, it was a movie that I didn't think I was going to enjoy as much as I did. It was good to get out to the cinema again for the first time in a while. I apologise, I keep banging my head. It was good to watch something that meant a lot to you as well for your birthday.
Me the question.
I will ask you the question in a moment. So yeah, it's a charming movie that offers plenty of laughs and heartfelt moments, making it worth watching for fans of Garfield and newcomers alike. And I'm sure it's going to go on streaming at some point. So yeah, the question I have to ask is, Well, I have two questions I haven't asked you in many episodes. Was it your cup of tea?
Yes.
And will we be getting it on DVD?
On Blu-ray, yes.
Blu-ray. That's even better than a DVD. So yeah, those questions haven't been asked in a long time. So yeah, that about sums it up. We really enjoyed it, and it was a nice little birthday thing. I'm glad it wasn't shit, because I was scared that it was going to be. But it was enjoyable. Definitely worth giving it a watch. And that about sums it up. I've been your host as ever, Papa Minute. Thank you ever so much for listening. I've been joined once more by the Obsidian Nook / Petal ASMR. Find her links in the description alongside all of mine, and we will see you soon.